Hello again. See what we'll talk about now. I was just talking about hoping that the times of Makiventa Melchizedek's on this planet, hoping they're close and start working towards ending of the race until there's one race on this planet. Removal of the abnormal and antisocial stocks that, and we're one world, one spiritual government in charge, one language, and we can move on towards progressive times of light and life. And in some way, form, or fashion, even now, though it don't look like it, we're doing that. I mean, we're in whatever age we're in. Each age has its difficulties, and but each age is a progressive step, and you can't skip, you can't shortcut, you can't get around. You know, whatever happens to be the the age you or anybody else lives in, or whatever happened that age happens to be, and whatever happens to be going on, whether it's something like with us, where we're in quarantine, or maybe in the times of pre-planetary prince, post-planetary prince, pre-rebellion, um, pro, pro after the rebellion, um, pre-Adam and Eve, after Adam and Eve, um, and right now it's kind of weird for us because um, uh, we didn't follow the normal order. I don't know if it's because of the fact of well, I'm sure it has something to do with not having a planetary presence. I'm sure it has something to do with not having the advantage of more influx of the violet peoples, Adam and Eve and their progeny, their blood. I'm sure that has a little to do with it. Probably the biggest thing is Michael decided to do his seventh bestowal on our planet. So um, normally every planet gets a bestowal sun, but only one planet out of 10 million, I think it is, in a local universe. Only one planet out of 10 million gets for a bestowal sun the the honor of of having as their bestowal son the Michael son of that local universe. And in our local universe, Nebulon, Michael chose our planet to to do his seventh bestowal. But what's funny is it came out of order. Normally, normally after the Adams and Eves, you get Avenel sons. They come they come down as in judicial missions. Um, each time they come down, they spend a time there. They do some teaching. Um, there's a judgment of realms, and of course that ends one dispensation. Um, any sleeping super any sleeping survivors. That's the time They have a group resurrection on the first mansion world. All the sleeping survivors are sent there. All the people that haven't that didn't make enough spiritual progress to go straight to the mansion world after their third day, or they weren't a person that was translated or fused with their adjuster or translated to the mansion worlds. So those that are asleep and waiting at these times, they will be awoken in, and sometimes in between, just for the sake of having a group, they'll have a group special um, special resurrection of a large group together because it's good to keep groups of people together for teaching purposes and other purposes. So you have normally judiciary missions, multiple, I don't know how many, but when they bring to you to the stage where the planet is ready, after that, the next step is an Avenal, um, doing a bestowal. Like I said, all planets except for one have an Avenal sun do that bestowal. And then after that, then we have various teacher sons, Trinity teacher sons that come and spend a period with us and help us and teach us and bring us up level after level after level. And however many of them it takes to eventually get us to the level where we get into the times of light and life. And that's our goal. So as I say, our planet's kind of weird because it's out of order. And just reading something the other day, and it's always hard to remember where you read something because sometimes it's just a little side note, not having to do with the direct what part you're reading. But they were saying it said something about we may or may not have those other judicial things, and this is Michael's planet, and of course he's promised to return one day. So we don't know how that's going to affect us. We don't know, we don't know what he's going to do with this. They seem to think those are things that might or might not happen. So who knows? But we will get to the times of light and life, and we will get through these times. Another thing that's kind of strange too. What makes me think they must be trying to fix something, prepare something, because normally, I mean, look at the first dispensation, pre-planetary prince, um, almost 500,000 years. Then from the prince to the Adam and Eve, um, between 450 and 500,000 years. Normal dispensations, I think, come to be about 150,000 years. But like I said, because of our problems, it's been a long, bloody battle, and it's still a bloody battle. But strange. Okay, 35. Adam and Eve were here 37,000 years ago. Okay, 2,000 years ago, this wasn't a dispensation, but it was an emergency mission. That's when Makiventa Melchizedek came down and incarnated himself on this planet to keep the light alive, because spiritual darkness was fulfilling the world, and he came on a mission to keep that light alive before he got extinguished. And he lived in the times of Abraham, and he passed that light on to the Abraham and his descendants, which made them get the false idea that they were the chosen people. They were chosen to be God's emissaries, not to be world. That they got it a little off. And during Machiaventa's teachings, he and his teachers out to the world. So actually, most of today's religions are they're closer than we think because almost all of them have their roots in Machiaventa's teaching. Now, clearly, different cultures, different social environments, so they had differences in them. But I remember Jesus teaching. He was tutoring a boy from India during one of his adventures on and they looked. They made a study of all the religions of that, and they found quite a lot of similarities. Quite a lot of similarities. So again, they all have the same roots. So I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just going on. So uh, I don't know why each religion had the typical human tendency of wanting to be, we're the only one, we're the one that's right, you are wrong. No, no, no. Jesus in his teaching said that all, the door is open to all. He came here for every one of us. And God has a personal relationship with every single human being. And we are all his sons. The fatherhood of God constitutes the brotherhood of man. So we were all brothers. No one, God's no respecter of persons. Not one of us is better than the other. Not one of us. Not one of us. Not one of us. And this idea of racial um, superiority or religious superiority, it's something we humans have to get rid of. Of course, these days, all religion is under attack. Even religions attacking other religions still do, but that's always been around. Now, in general, the whole thing is under attack. These the evil ones are really trying to stamp God out of this world. So again, that's what makes me think it's finally getting to the point where it's so bad that I think they're going to do something. And that's to what I was starting to get to. That just 2,000 years ago, Machiaventa was here. Okay, 2,000 years after that, Jesus does his bestowal um, on this, and that's like real close to Adam and Eve, which was only 37,000 years ago. And 2,000 years after that, we get a book. So they're definitely trying to help us and get us going here. And hopefully, this book, and it's amazing how fast, for only being around 180 years, it's amazing how much inroads. So I guess there's a real hunger for this truth that I believe it contains. I guess there's a real hunger for it and a need for it. But even we as Urantians, we always got to remember, don't judge too harshly those behind us. Growth is slow and growth is personal. Everybody grows different levels and speeds. And if you try and force it too fast, you end up with problems. So don't try and think everybody's got to come to the Urantia book. People have been saved for a long, long time now, ever since the very first couple and an Infanta. People have been going on to the mansion worlds. So this is just a step, like everything else has been a step, and nothing more. This is not, the Urantia book ain't the ultimate truth either. Step. It, okay, I'm nearing my time again. So um, sometime not or next video, I don't know if I'll pick it up from here or go someplace else. We'll see. I love talking to you all. I hope everybody's getting something out of this. I love you all. I gotta go.